Hi Fast Track Property friends. So the other day I was hanging out with a bunch of friends, having a couple of drinks, and somehow this topic was brought out when they asked me what my thoughts were on today's property affordability for all of us. And I thought I should share this with all of you. We also spoke about why it is so important for all of you to touch on this thumbs up icon because it is how YouTube works to then recommend it to another pool of audience. So thank you all for doing that and for subscribing. Back to the video, what my thoughts were on today's property affordability for all of us. Imagine this, you enter into the ring and got blindsided by Mr. COVID. He throws you a right hook and you're down on the ground. You pick yourself up and continue to fight this formidable opponent. And after a while, Mr. Inflation hops into the ring and you are hit again. Once again, you pick yourself up and continue to battle against them. And when you thought things could not get any worse, their teammates, Mr. War and Mr. Interest Rate joins them. You are now faced with 4 huge opponents. How does this example relate to you buying a property this year? Inflation has skyrocketed mainly because of the disruption of supply chains. Cost of goods have increased. You should have already witnessed this in your daily life, not even mentioning the increase of property prices or your personal insurance. You can see the price hikes from your cup of coffee to your petrol prices. And for those of you are looking for your very first property, I empathize with you because you have had it the worst. Those who are either upgrading or downgrading, at the very least they have profited from the sale of the existing property. But you are coming out your down payment with your personal savings. Therefore today you should have already been faced with higher monthly expenses. And for those of you who had the privilege of living with your parents and have never paid for any water or electricity bill, take a look at this. This is my present contract with Keppel. You can see that I was paying a fixed rate of 16.52 cents for the past 3 years. My contract ends in March and my new rates from April will be 22.42 cents. Right, this is all before GST. This is a 37% increase, meaning with the same usage, this will translate to an increase of $80 to $100 a month before GST. As inflation climbed, I was in the belief that the Fed will control the interest rate, especially during this period. But it seemed to not be the case. With another 6 FOMC meets, the next will be in May, the expectation is to increase the interest rates 6 times to its 2% annual target. So how does this affect you? Only last September, my client signed off on his housing loan package for a completed property at a 1.15% fixed rate for 3 years. Fantastic, isn't it? But today, the same package rates are between 1.75 to 1.85%. And if I were to use a 2.25% as an average for this year, for a $1 million loan, it will mean a difference of $537 a month on your installment. And finally, something I did not bring up earlier is Mr. Mofo, right? A fear of missing out. As you read the news, browse through your Facebook, Instagram, or whatever other social media apps you're on, all these headlines starts hitting you in your face. Property prices has jumped a certain percentage, inventories are low, developers are still bullish with new land bids secured at all-time highs, analysts or the experts still optimistic about the real estate market and why the price would continue to be bullish. Or you could perhaps be in some group chats or have friends that have bought their properties 2 years ago and now you read about how cheap they got their unit for and how much potential profits they are sitting on. And mofo starts to creep into you, right? And the worst thing you can do is to settle for a 2-bed plus study, though you really need a 3-bedroom because you have been priced out of the market. But on a serious note, being stuck with a property that does not perform is very real, right? And I hope you will not live to regret like I did with my first purchase. And like what the wise one says, it's always best to learn from other people's mistakes rather than yours. So this is my property that I bought back in 2012 because amongst other reasons, one was FOMO. This property is situated within 2 MRT lines, shopping malls, 24 hours supermarket, wet market, coffee shops, and all your other amenities. It's so convenient. And imagine this, alright? All of these are just within a 2-minute walk. Now this is the result after 10 years of holding on to this property. Isn't it just disheartening? In summary, all these extra expenses mentioned earlier are going to go up, are going to add up, and you will need to review if it is within your family's risk threshold. And most importantly, come up with a new plan. For me, it has always been delayed gratification and renting where you stay, buying where you invest. Alright, with that said, thank you all for watching and remember to subscribe. Till next time.